Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to your latest edition of Hot News. We're going through the latest tech news that's happening. There was a lot of CES stuff that went down. Nvidia announced some brand new stuff, and just some of it does like what? And then also AMD's brand new stuff, and Razer just being super extra at CES like they always are. And I want to bring some extra value to your life with today's video sponsor, ButcherBox. My friends, in case you're buying your meat at a grocery store, stop it. It's too 2020. It's the way of the past. Find a way to make it better, and ButcherBox is that way. With your ability to customize a ButcherBox with the meats that you want and have it delivered straight to your door with free shipping at less than $6 a meal, ButcherBox is the way that my family gets our meat every month, whether it is the 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef, heritage breed pork, free-range organic chicken, or the wild-caught seafood. It's all delicious. It's all rather inexpensive for me, and it's all easy because it just shows up straight at my door. ButcherBox not only cares about you getting good meat at a good affordable price, but they also care about the farmers who are raising these animals as well. And they want to help you out with a special deal by clicking our link in the video description. You can get 10 pounds of free meat with their ultimate keto bundle. That's going to include a pork butt, bone-in chicken thighs, and ground beef, all free in your first box when you sign up. We use them every month. We've been using them for about half a year at this point, and we really don't ever buy meat at the grocery store at all. It's been a perfect solution to our meat eating needs, and it could be a perfect solution to yours. So check it out at the link in the video description. But what's not a perfect solution, at least according to all of the comments as we watched Nvidia announce the RTX 3060 during yesterday's presentation in CES, is that why does it have 12 gigabytes of VRAM? That was the generic response that was just happening in the chat. By the way, you want to catch the next live stream? We're actually live right now doing meme review with Reece and Catlin. If Reece can never actually show up, twitch.tv/UFDisciple. Come join us over there for that. But you can see here that the RTX 3060 has been announced. 13 shader teraflops, 25 RT teraflops, 101 tensor teraflops, 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM, and starting at $329, available in late February. This is just a strange card. No other card besides the RTX 3090 has as much VRAM as this RTX 3060. The 3080 has 10 gigs, 3070 and 3060 Ti have 8 gigs. It's kind of weird. However, that doesn't mean that the 3060 Ti won't necessarily be a better card, as you can see here. The 3060 Ti has 35% more CUDA core, so it's likely going to be on the order of 30% faster than what the 3060 is, but it just creates this weird scenario. Part of this is because of the memory bus that the 3060 has. That 192-bit bus meant that Nvidia either had to include 6 gigabytes of VRAM or 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And since everybody's already crapping on them for not including as much VRAM in their 3080 as AMD does on their 6800 XT, it seems like they went with the let's put in more route of things, which doesn't actually fit in line. It just seems like Nvidia is like, you know what, we're gonna do this generation. Last time we had like the 16 series. That made no sense. It made everybody go like, what? You want to know what we're going to do this time? Weird RAM amounts on everything. Nothing's going to make any sense, and you don't need it because it doesn't matter. So just don't worry about it, okay? 12 gigabytes of RAM on the 3060 is for you, friends. They also announced the RTX 30 series mobile, which is going to be available in less than 2 weeks on January 26th, starting at $999 for the RTX 3060, which Nvidia is claiming can beat the RTX 2080 Super mobile that went into previous gen laptops. So the RTX 3060 is supposed to be 1080p, 90 frames per second in Ultra for $999. The RTX 3070 mobile is supposed to be 90 frames per second at 1440p for $1299, and then the 3080 is supposed to be 1440p, 100 frames per second at $1999 is the general vibe that they're going with there. And they're going to have plenty of companies that are making these laptops, and they're also going to be making it like AMD announced a new feature and then everybody went, oh wait, we also have that feature. Resizable BAR now coming out to RTX 30 series desktop and mobile processors in February. This is essentially what AMD calls smart ass memory, which allows the memory on your GPU to be utilized by the entire system so that you're not as bottlenecked by the RAM amount that you might have on your given PC, which would help if you had more VRAM on your GPU to utilize, like the RTX 3060. I don't know, but AMD also had their announcement, which just was, I just want to take a second and say was weird, because the majority of it was Lisa Su calling AMD's partners and just being like, so tell me about how great we are as a company. And they would go, you're pretty great. We do a lot of great stuff together. Good grading. And then Lisa Sue would go, yeah, we are pretty great together. How great is that? And that went on for like a good 45 minutes of the 60-minute presentation. And turns out that they didn't even announce everything that they actually announced yesterday. So let's go over that. The Ryzen 5000 series mobile processors are now being announced. They're supposed to be shipping in Q1 of 2021. AMD announcing that they're going to have as many partners as they've ever had, with this Zen 3 architecture being implemented, going to be up to 23% faster in single core performance. The Ryzen 9 5980HS and HX being the top of the line there, with nearly 5 gigahertz boost clocks. The Ryzen 7 5800U looking particularly good, with it being a 15-watt chip and being 16% better than the previous generation in single-threaded and 14% faster in multi-threaded, and then bringing up to what they said 17.5 hours of general use battery life and up to 21 hours of movie playback on a single charge. So these chips obviously looking good, but I will say that for anybody who said AMD skipped Ryzen 4000 straight to 5000 to kind of ease confusion about what their chips are, I just want you to take a look at this list, okay? You see the top, like, I don't know, 10, I'm not going to count it, is all Zen 3 processors. But then the 5700U and the 5500U and the 5300U are all Zen 2. So even Ryzen 5000 isn't all Zen 3. AMD's just deciding to make the rules when and where they want to. They also announced a couple new desktop processors, not during their keynote announcement, but the Ryzen 9 5900 and 5800 are going to be coming out, likely OEM only, because they're going to be the 65-watt TDP versions of the chips. They also announced on a press release a Threadripper Pro, which is going to be big chips, 64 cores, 128 threads, 288 megabytes of total cache, 128 PCI Express lanes, just a big beefy set of workstations that should be out in March 2021. They also happen to tease the next release of graphics cards in this little graphic that you can see right here, saying coming first half 2021. That should be the RX 6000 mobile, but then you can see these GPUs here have not yet been announced. The one on the bottom is likely the RX 6700 series, and then the one on the top hopefully is the RX 6500 series, so we can finally retire the RX 580. Gosh dang it, why is it still relevant? Makes me mad sometimes. But combining the power of Nvidia and AMD and smashing them together and creating the laptop that I think is absolutely perfect for me and I think is amazing, probably the best laptop I've heard announced in quite some time. Asus's ROG Flow X13 ultra portable notebook has been announced with an external RTX 3080 mobile processor. The reason this is so great, as you can see here, it's an ultrabook, so it's 13 inches, meaning that the actual laptop is quite small, up to 18 hours of battery life in mixed operation, which is actually quite good with that Ryzen processor. But then it has an external GPU dock that's a mobile processor, so that it's this little itty bitty thing that's not even really bigger than the laptop. This is more portable, and you actually don't need a power connector for the external GPU dock. It'll just go over the 280 watt brick that you use for the laptop itself. That's such an ingenious solution. Why has nobody else done this? You could carry that around and still game. You bring the ROG Flow with you to like whatever work you're doing if you're out on the road, and then you keep that little dock back at the hotel room, and then you have a full setup for you able to play games, and it doesn't take up that much space. I don't know if that's in a backpack. It's the greatest thing that they've done. Asus, yes. Except for no, because the pricing is going to be €1499 for the laptop itself, and then it's apparently going to be about like another €1,000 to €2,000 for the external GPU dock, which is just absurd and painful, and that's a lot of cash, and I don't know if I could do that, but the Flow X13 looks to be my favorite laptop that's ever been announced. Speaking of AMD and another company coming together to create an ultimate partnership, Samsung announced that they're going to have details on what their AMD GPU powered processor is going to be in their next flagship. We're going to get more details later this week. It was just them announcing that it will be announced, and we'll add more details to come, as well as more details on Final Fantasy VII, because there's more trademarks being filed by Square Enix in Japan with regards to Final Fantasy VII. Key notes are Ever Crisis, the first soldier, as well as a logo for the Shinra Electric Power Company. Ever Crisis is kind of intriguing because it kind of continues the naming scheme that they've had. Advent Children, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and then Dirge Cerberus. So that's A, B, C, D, and then Ever Crisis would be E. So that's possible. The first soldier could also be a Zack game somehow, or it could just be referring to something else that they're gonna do. There's been also some speculation that Ever Crisis is supposed to be the overarching name for the entire remake series that's going on, but it's hard to know where everything's are going right now. But that's not the only Sony stuff we got going on. Sony also showing off that they drove their Vision S car that they showed off at CES last year, the prototype that they had. They did public testing on roads in Europe, which they said that they were going to do, and then they actually did it. And we also got our first look at their Air Peak drone, which they put a Sony mirrorless camera onto, as you can see right here. And this is hopefully going to be Sony's foray into actual aerial videography and photography. Not Sony, but still video games. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting a free next-gen upgrade, with details being released on that. Improved frame rates, improved dynamic resolution, and improved post-processing resolution, in case you're interested in all of that. And we also have what I would consider the best-looking Nintendo Switch getting announced. It should be coming out February 12th. It's a Mario edition, red and blue. I actually think that the colors are stellar on this, and I actually really enjoy that. But I don't know if I really enjoy Razer's concepts, because this is what they do on CES. They just come up with things that are crazy. And so that's what we have. Project Brooklyn and Project Hazel start off with Hazel, which is something that actually might come to fruition, which is their RGB face mask. Yes, you heard me correctly there. As you can see here, it shows your mouth, but it also has LEDs on the inside in case it's dark out and then people can't see your mouth. And then it's obviously got RGB on the front, because why wouldn't it? It is Razer. It also has a microphone as well as a speaker to project your voice a little bit better. It's neat. It's absurd. And it's exactly Razer. So good job being on brand there, guys. And then the product that likely will never come out, Project Brooklyn, is a gaming chair that has something that I'm pretty sure doesn't even exist yet, which is a 60-inch rollable out OLED screen. Like, this is very clearly just a concept, but look at all that RGB. As you can see here, you plop it over and then the screen unfolds to meet your every desire. And it still has this terrible cable routing system that Razer implemented on their, what was it, the Tomahawk monitor, Raptor monitor, I forget what it was called, but oh geez, I hate that cable management system. And yes, that's never going to happen. That technology doesn't even exist. So Razer continue to show off things that are just pie in the sky future. But if you have their mask, somebody pies you in the face, it won't get on your mouth, which is obviously good for everybody. And it's good for everybody if I end this episode of Hot News. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out ButcherBox for your meat eating needs. Check the link in the video description. Get 10 pounds of free meat, my friends, when you use our link. And with that being said, I'm Brett with the Hot News channel. You've just been filled in on the tech news, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more tech things that happen in the tech world. Goodbye.